Yo guys, welcome back. I am going to be knocking out another one of these things today. So, great news, we got the differential done yesterday. You guys are hopefully seeing this video after you guys watched the differential rebuild where we did completely refreshed the diff, did the stack mod, the new case on the back. So today, I'm immediately going to go straight out there and we're going to tackle the turbo, the studs, we're going to do all that stuff. And then we're going to see what it's going to take to weld up some nuts on the rear frame to try to get those rear subframe bolts out. I went ahead and picked up some Mobile One just because they had it on sale. I mean, it's just pretty much you're going to use it for break-in. 10W30, obviously. Got me some 50/50. It's coolant. So we may slap these in if everything goes right, but we're going to do the turbo. Try to see if I could do the wiring on it. I may do the wire. I may go ahead and assemble the turbo, put the studs and everything on it, and then wire so it's the ones that are in the way right by the turbo, which go down to the starter, and then put the turbo in, then put the radiator in, then maybe start adding fluids. I would love to be able to bump it over today just to see if it'll actually roll over, so I can make sure the starter's good, because I got a used starter and a used alternator from a good friend of mine, so hopefully those are still good. So, all right, we're just gonna get straight into it, guys. So we got the O2 side right here, and I got the top studs back here. It's actually pretty cool. I went with the multi-point on the top ones, and then I wasn't even gonna screw with trying to get the multi-point for the side ones. So, of course, JD Customs, gotta go with the titanium. Love it.
Wherever love goes, there is also misery. It's no mystery. And you and I, we got history. Yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy. When we're in too deep. And you and I, we got history.
So I'm using Loctite on this just because I'd rather these things not back out when I'm doing anything, or later on if we go to pull it out. At least I have it's not a huge breakaway strength on it, but it's just enough to make sure this thing is definitely snug in there and it's not going to be an issue later on. So I'm using blue Loctite on it, which isn't too bad. The 242, I use it quite a bit on a lot of things I do. Like I used it on the rear diff yesterday when we were building it, so that'll definitely hold with the rear end. All right, so we're just gonna throw these on here for a second, just so I can make sure they don't walk off. But man, these things go on here so smooth. Man, those look so good. All right, now we're just gonna flip to the other side. Straight in here. Earlier I did have to stop for a second and I had to rechase the threads on these things. So I had an issue when I was doing this before where the threads were like very much boogered up when I was pulling out the old stuff. So thankfully got me a nice little tap. And everything seems to be pretty damn clean still. The other one on the other sides I had to stop because it wasn't going through all the way. But if you can run your finger in it and if you can thread it in by hand, then it shouldn't be an issue. Normally have a little bit of lubricant, run the lube on whatever you're doing, like metal cutting lube or whatever, and you can run it in, or no issue. But if I can chase it in like that, it's not an issue. So now, move on to this side. So I went with a 6-point on this side because it's just going to be easier to get a wrench in there later on if something ever happens, instead of doing the 12 points like I did on the top. I'd rather do the 12 points on top, plus it just looks good. You're really not going to see these so much, but I mean, well, it doesn't really matter. It's all titanium anyways. let's go ahead and put the wastegate actuator and shit back on here. Now I'm just doing this stock 8 turbo because I'm just gonna roll this. The whole goal is to get this car started. So as long as I get this car started with it, that's all that matters. Eventually I'll probably upgrade, but currently the goal is just to get this damn thing. You're going to be going like this. Cool, she is together. All right, next thing, stuff you right there. We're gonna put this little janky little Megan Racing exhaust I have. Thankfully I got that with another turbo for free. The only one you got to worry about is the one that's underneath this thing. It's a pain in the ass. Just like that. That thing that was supposed to be a pain in the ass is not a pain in the ass. Just gotta get a wrench for right here. All right, now we're gonna put the oxygen sensor in it, and then this thing will be 100% good. We'll be good to go. Then I got my Grimspeed gasket. So I'm just gonna reuse the one I had before. Never had an issue with it, so I'm gonna reuse it. Alright, let's go ahead and put the exhaust manifold on the car because this is going to be easy to put on. Putting the manifold on is going to be hard because you have to get around everything. Okay, so now let's get the turbo in here. I ended up taking the power steering line off just to make it easier. Well, she is all together. All together now. I went ahead and did a quick, I wired it up. I got everything as far as that goes together. I'm not gonna, I went ahead and put everything together and I rolled it over a second ago, but I'm actually gonna put oil in it now and let it sit for a little while. We'll go ahead and roll it over a couple of times. I have everything on that would keep the oil in the motor. So, should be it. There's absolutely nothing else. All the water lines are on, so technically I could put coolant in it too. I think we're just gonna put oil in it for now. We're just gonna go ahead and put oil in it. So it does take the full 5 quarts to fill her up. So we'll get the 5 quarts put in it, which I have put over here. So I'm gonna stick with the Mobile One. This has me nervous. Okay, well, so far, so good. Okay, well, it's all in there. I don't see anything leaking underneath it, so. Let's bump her over again. Just like that, she cranks over and if it leaks. All right, guys, everything's in, everything's buttoned up. Got the water lines on, got the feed, got the drain, got everything buttoned up. Today was super successful. Got everything wired, minus I'm gonna have to get a pigtail for this for the exhaust cam. Did not realize that that was actually, I knew that there was a piece cut off. I just didn't know if it went here or if it was supposed to go to a different setting or a different sensor. But got everything on. I even put on this sweet JDC fuel cap or brake cap, whatever. I'm tired. But tomorrow I may come in and do a little bit more to it, or may just push it out. I did not get to do the rear subframe at all. I spent so much time and taking my time getting everything done and buttoned up here. So thankfully we got the entire bench cleared off of everything and it went on the car. So with it all on, it's so nice having oil in it. Was able to crank it over, was super happy. Looked at everything, cranked it over a few times, let it sit, cranked it over a few more times, let it sit. We don't have any oil spots underneath it, thankfully. There's nothing underneath. It's too dark to probably see anyways, but we got all of that done. Everything is bolted up. If I had a battery tray, I could put a battery in there, but I think I'm going to go small battery, buy the mount, put it there, so I'll have a small battery. Or I have Gingineering mount right here. I could put a small battery in there and run it to right there and be done. I grabbed that, I don't know, several months ago. Guy had it on Facebook Market. Just get a small battery, maybe put it right there and be done. Because battery would be awesome just to have it completely out of the engine bay. I don't think I'm going to put it in the trunk. I think since we have this set up, we're going to do it right here. But hopefully putting out another video. The next one should actually be the subframe. So there's nothing else that I need to do on the front right now on tackling things. We got a lot done. So with that being done, that's out of the way. If I do anything else to the front, it'll be like putting my radiator hoses back on, putting coolant in it. But I can't really bleed the system until it's actually running, get it hot. But the sooner we get subframe done, the sooner we put the fuel tank in it, which I coated it, so it's actually gonna be nice to go inside. So the sooner we do that, the sooner we can get this thing fired, because we're so close. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.